Let's see how this goes. So this is Satisfactory. This is gonna be my world tour. I'm gonna try to do this kind of in the order that everything was built. So you start off in this ab, which did not start here. Also, there's a lot, so the frames don't look great. We'll go ahead and jump over to kind of the starting region, or at least where I spawned. I think I still have some remnants of what I had around. So yeah, this is where I started. Pretty much where I started everything. My initial power plants here. Then I built a bunch of basic stuff. That's all been ripped out for this, which even then, most of this is obsolete, I think. I don't think it's entirely obsolete, but most of my basics have been moved over here. I've got two small factories for basic materials, so I can go through the basic setup. So we have a miner. Switch these. Miner pulls out the raw ore. These foundries turn the ore into ingots. The ingots get processed into various things. So, like, these are making iron rods, and these over here are making iron plates. And those get stored for use either in construction or they get processed, like these rods get turned into screws. And then I've got the assembler making I have this assembler making reinforced iron plates. So yeah, it's pretty basic iron factory. Over here, I have a pretty basic copper factory. It's the same thing. It's basically just making wire and copper sheets. Sells that, and then my next bit, once I unlocked coal power, I built a coal power plant. Kind of a long hyper tube. So the coal power plant takes that coal, and sends it up. Sends it up these elevators. These pipes take water and pump them up to my coal generators. So you got the water coming in. Can't see it, but there's coal coming up there. So that's my coal power plant. And then from there, I don't remember if motors came first or steel came first. Steel came first. This was all built much later. Yeah, a lot of this was built obsolete. So steel. Pretty sure is this one. I really like how this whole steel plant turned out. Steel takes limestone, iron, and coal. So I have limestone and iron over there, and then coal here. And I think that's, yeah, and a bunch of coal. Sends it in here. To turn into steel. This steel all gets taken. Limestone gets turned into concrete here. The steel all gets processed into steel beams, steel pipe, and combined with the concrete to make encased steel beams. And then those all come into these truck stops to get carried away. So that's my steel production. From there, I started to need more power, and we unlocked oil. This is going to take a long time with these frame rates. But you can see the minimap at the top. There's a lot going on. On the whole point, if you look in the top right, you'll see objective complete phase 5. Those are space elevator parts. That's the space elevator. So you're sending parts to the space elevator. Yeah, so with oil, this is my fuel my fuel generator, little power plant. This takes crude oil, which I get on this pipeline that I built from like halfway across the map, sends it into these refineries to be converted into plastic and rubber, as well as heavy oil residue. That heavy oil residue gets further refined into turbo fuel and then sent into these generators. So that's my second power plant of 3. Of 4, actually. I just built a fourth one. This here is my motors factory. So this takes a lot of the steel from my steel plant over there, as well as copper, limestone. Oh no, sorry, this doesn't take any steel. Copper, limestone, and iron. Sends them up to the second floor. It gets processed into various things. I think I'm using an alternate recipe to get more iron, a more efficient recipe here. So that all gets processed, comes up here. Get turned into rotors and stators, and then eventually motors. Which are over here. So there's rotors there. Those are rotors. Should have motors coming out of here. Yep. There goes. I said frame rates sucks. But yeah, so this is my motors factory. And the motors get sent off either by drone or by truck. I guess I can come over here. This, I think, is just making compacted coal. Yeah, it is. I use a compacting coal for something. I don't remember what. Over here. This is my biofuel factory. It's the only factory that's not fully automated because it requires input from with organic materials, so like leaves, wood, animal parts. Basically, I can put any animal parts in here, or any bioorganics, basically. So leaves, wood, animal parts, and it gets sorted into these rows to get turned into power shards, proteins, or biomass. The biomass gets converted into solid biofuel and then refined into liquid biofuel and then packaged. So every one of these storage crates is currently full. So that's a lot of liquid biofuel. As one of those trucks. This is one of my bigger projects that I haven't done yet, or haven't finished yet. It's all cosmetic. Everything is operational. But this basically is creating all of this to create one thing, one single item, which are modular frames. So each of these is processing iron into iron ingots. That one, that one, that one, and that one. All those shoe boxes are creating iron ingots. They all go into here to be converted into various things. So you got screws, plates, rods, things like that. And everything that's being created gets sent into these. Some of the excess is skimmed off the top and sent into storage to have. But this is the end product right here. Heavy modular frame. This makes 2 per minute and I have 3 of them. So all of this to make 6 of these frames per minute. All of that just to make 6 of those per minute. So yeah, this is one of the larger projects. I have a little computer factory over here. It's nothing super impressive. I'm probably just not going to bother going over there. It's all basically the same that we've already seen. What I can do... Look at those trucks. We'll wait for the train. I really like this train. Oops. This train is bringing aluminum. Or aluminum casings. I just love how it winds through this canyon. And then, like, perfectly through this cave without hitting anything. Like, the cave was perfect size for this train. This is a weirdly complicated. This is one of the more complicated processes. So it takes bauxite that have a train on down there and water. And yeah, it's hard to see. I made it kind of small. And it refines the bauxite and water into alumina solution. This alumina solution gets combined with coal to make aluminum scrap, but it also outputs water. So some of that water is recycled back into here. Yeah, it's hard to see. Yeah, so these pipes is the alumina solution coming out and going in. And then copper pipes is water coming out from here and going into here. And then that gets in foundries, no, smelters, that gets smelted into aluminum bars or aluminum ingots and then converted into aluminum casing and aluminum frames. I think they're called aluminum sheets. And then they get sent out to wherever they need to go. Is the train here? No, the train just left. So yeah, this is also sending out aluminum. Yeah, so this is sending out alumina solution somewhere else to be unpackaged and converted into aluminum somewhere else. around this point, I decided I wanted to go big. I wanted to go big, big. So I decided to make a new power plant. A massive new power plant. So that's what I did. Above me, I'll be passing over a couple things. That's my weapons factory. Oh, I passed it. No, way past it. This is my power plant. 200 rocket fuel generators. Oh, jeez. $200 rocket fuel generators. Taking oil, refining it into heavy oil. This is taking sulfur and coal and making compacted coal. And those are being combined up here to make turbo fuel, I think. Yeah, turbo fuel. And then the turbo fuel is being combined with nitrogen from that mess of pipes over there to make rocket fuel. So yeah, that's my rocket fuel plant. Now I don't. I thought I had a cannon. Oh, I do. Oh, the game's not gonna like this. Kind of going out of order now. We're going to one of my more recent builds. Also, one of my larger ones. This whole complex took. We got trades bringing in materials. That's making something. That's making something. This is all making rubber. And then this is all refining oil into rubber. And then the extra, uh, the byproduct crude oil is being burned. Yeah, it's all being burned. And then the rubber's getting sent off over there. Final product for this area. Actually, the rubber's getting sent over here. I've kind of converted this a couple times to make a couple different things based on what I was needing. Turbo motors. Supercomputers. This is making something different. Pressure conversion cubes. Because the pressure conversion cubes get combined with this copper powder in a particle accelerator to make nuclear pasta. So yeah, like I said, this is one of my much larger projects that I've done. I have one more recent ones too. Now I know I have a hypertube cannon somewhere. Here, I just don't. I always forget where I put this one. I want to say it was over here. The presents falling down from the sky are from the Xmas event. It's just Christmas. Where did I put that cannon? It's in some stupid spot. I know that. They have these item monitors so I can monitor how many items per minute are going into each kind of bank of machines, which kind of helps me see make sure everything is running the way it's supposed to be, because it's all pretty intricately calculated. So because it's stop and go right now, it's not going to show exact, but like I have 600, I have about 600 per minute coming out, and then that's getting split between these 3 rows. So this should be about 200 per minute. 4 rows, so about 120 or 130, whatever the math comes out to. But yeah, this one's making almost 1,000 per minute. Yeah, where did I put that hypertube cannon? It's in a dumb spot that wasn't really useful. Oh, there it is. Like I said, dumb spot. Not that useful. Especially with frame rates like these. Luckily, I don't exactly have that much. That is a battery farm. Yeah, it's not. Almost done with the tour. That's pretty small. Yeah, that's making batteries. Is my drones run on batteries. This is the final stop. My nuclear power plant. Which isn't quite done. So I still need to build waste processing. I put a lot of time into decorating this area with all the different buildings and things. So, yeah, it's got foundries and constructors, basically all the same machines that we've seen, just doing a bunch of different stuff. So it's all of this and all of those. You can see it's a little spicy because of because of those. Actually, no, those aren't spicy. Are they? No, those aren't spicy. Their output is spicy. These are spicy. It's uranium. Case uranium cells. Each of these are making the uranium fuel rods. They make 3/8 per minute. 3/8 of a fuel rod per minute. And then those go into my nuclear reactors to make power. And they also consume a lot of water. So that's what all the... I need to repaint all these pipes. They all need to be copper. And then they create waste. Now, you can't just dump waste. You have to process it into something you can dump. Well, that takes up a lot of brain power, because the process to convert waste into something you can dump is just as complicated, if not more, than actually creating the everything else up to this point. So I just built a massive storage bank. Now, if I did the math right, I should have enough storage based on the amount of waste it creates. Yeah, based on the amount of 25 waste per minute times 6 power plants is 150 waste per minute. If I did the math right, which I'm pretty sure I did, this storage bank will give me 280 hours of runtime before it backs up. Now, it's not a big deal. I'm making my power production is all the way up here at 176,000. My max consumption of every single machine is only 73. So I still have 100,000 megawatts of power available. So it's not a big deal if this thing backs up. This was more for fun. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my world. We'll head back to the hub. Or the hub. The hub. Oh, this is a little processing area that I made for some end game stuff. This makes fixite, which is an end game material. These are converters. So yeah. Oh, this is my pipeline. This is my oil pipeline that goes to my my oil power plant. It's got some future proofing with the extra pipe supports. Oh, jeez. But for the most part, I'm not going to use it anymore. A lot of the aesthetics are still kind of off. Um, the first half of this video I built while following along to a YouTube video. So like pretty much everything you see here was pretty much everything in this area was built while following along to a YouTube series. But everything else is pretty much on my own. So yeah, we're back to our turbo fuel and the hab world. This is all just like random stuff that I built just for like if I needed to handcraft something or craft a few individual things. Like this is making or was making he was making ammunition. Yeah, homing rifle ammo. But then I've got a little equipment workshop with a back door. It's a little hidden crafting bench, some storage containers. And this is like your research tree. And then back at the hab, you have another crafting bench here. And the hub terminal, which is how you unlock the stuff. All the base building, your conveyor belts, some of your recipes and your machines, stuff like that. So I'm all the way on tier 9. I'm working on this. I need to build these things. So yeah, I'm using a program called Satisfactory Modeler that I can switch to real quick. To plan things out. So this is Satisfactory Modeler. This is for the Christmas event. Somewhere up here. So that this is part of what I was working on. One of those space elevator project parts that I was talking about, the one that was at the top right. This is set up to make 5 of those items per minute. Ignore these. So it tells me I'm going to need 423 iron ingot or iron ore per minute, and or sorry, copper ore per minute, and 1100 iron ore per minute into 37 foundries. So yeah, this italicized number is the amount of material per minute. The bigger numbers are the number of machines it's going to take. So yeah, all that just to make 5 plus these, which I'm making somewhere else, and then water, just to make 5 of those per minute. This is nuclear power plant. So, like I said, just this section right here is making the fuel rods. All of this to make 3 fuel rods per minute into 6 nuclear reactors. And then it's all of this to process it into something that I can dump. So, yeah, it's about as complicated, if not more complicated. Yeah, this is just that side of the processing. Plus a bunch of other random stuff. Like I said, this is for the new thing. This is to make 8 of these stars per minute. To make 8 of these stars per minute, I need 20 of these assemblers, plus 8 of those assemblers, 24 of these assemblers, 48 foundries here, and 30, 60, 90, 8, 110, 158, 176, 166 constructors. Or no, those are, sorry, 62 constructors and 48, 48, 96, 108, 104, 104 foundries. Oops. And then 80 of the trees that make the presents. So yeah, this is all for the Christmas event going on right now. That's going to be a big, it's not complicated, but it's a big build. But yeah, that's it for my Satisfactory tour. Y'all have a good day.